Welcome. My name's Arna, and today we're going to be discussing inventory. This is lesson 8 in our learner's guide. I'll scroll through our learner's guide on section 8 here, as you can see. And definitely worth reading. It's very condensed, but it's a good place to start to learn inventory. Now, going back to Active Club Manager, here is a list of inventory. And there's all sorts of inventory in here. First thing I want to show you is an icon here which will allow you to bring up help on the window that you currently have active. In our case, managing inventory. Let's open up that element. Here is the data entry piece. You can display images of the various screens, and here is your detailed manual. I must say that the written manual provides much more detail than these videos can provide, so we do strongly recommend that you also refer to our online manual. Now, if you look at the inventory here, there's all kinds of types. So what is an inventory type? So we have inventory of type inventory, assemblies, non-inventory, archived inventory, gift cards and loyalty points, and employee incentive systems that are used for the awards plans for the employees. Now, inventory, assemblies, and non-inventory are synchronized with QuickBooks. And we have other videos and manuals that discuss that further. I might add that gift cards and loyalty points, those you can also synchronize with QuickBooks by making them inventory and non-inventory items. So let's go back to Manager. And let's do a search on all the products that we are displaying on the Napa POS, Napa location. So here we have them. And then let's display the ones that are displaying on the cart. Smaller list. Now let's have a look at the anatomy of an inventory item. Back to Manager, and let's open up one of them. So on the first tab, we have the tax category that will determine how the inventory item is taxed. We have a label for the inventory item. These are the various types like we discussed earlier. And then we have the category of the product. This list is customizable. You can add and subtract to it. If I was to select food, you'll notice that the area down here at the bottom will gray out because it's no longer relevant for food. There's only one field that's relevant there. Let's set it back to wine. So that area at the bottom that's marked as alcohol, this is all the fields that are required for the definition of an alcoholic inventory item, and it's used for compliance purposes, and it's also used for just general search purposes and display purposes and reporting purposes. Then we have the name, the description. If it's a purchased product, we can provide a vendor and even a department at the vendor. And then pricing information and a brand key. The brand key is used by compliance companies like Ship Compliant. So for doing your compliance filing, you will need a brand key. And then we have a field for special discounting of the inventory. Rather than discounting at the sales order level or the packaging level, you can specify a specific discount to be applied on a product. You can also provide accumulation of discounts. So you could say, there's a 5% discount on this that would be added to any other discount that had been calculated. There's a field for do not discount, whether it's taxable or not. And then this switch here tells the member choice system whether that choice displaying in the member choice cart can be deleted. So you can set up an inventory product that the wine club member may not remove from his selection list. And the alcohol section is your standard stuff, whether it's alcohol, the kind of packaging that we have for the alcohol, how many liters, the volume, the tax class, again used for compliance, and then just information about the wine, its vintage and its type and so on. We also have varietals here. You can pick from a list of varietals, and if there is a varietal that's not in that list, it can be added. Now, on this tab, there are 3 fields that are used for the box packing algorithm that Active Club Manager provides you. And it doesn't matter whether it's a sales order being created on the POS, shopping cart, club transactions, or back-end transactions. They all go through this process. And the items are put into a package that creates a shipment. So for the items, we need to know their weight so that we can calculate the total weight of the shipment, whether they need an insert or not, the size, and compliance information that we were showing you earlier. On the packaging, you'll have different packages based upon what's going into the package. So which package are we going to choose? How much does that package weigh? What are the business rules to be associated with that particular packing, and any compliance data necessary for that package to be shipped? And then finally we have a shipment, which we then have to determine who to ship it, how to ship it, who to ship it by, and what the cost of that shipment should be. So back in Manager, there are 3 fields that cover this. One is the item counting enabled. That tells the system whether the product consumes space, whether it needs an insert, in other words. Then we have a field which provides the weight, because we need to add up the weight of each product going into the box. And then we need a field that determines the size of the product going into the box. So that's all the fields on this tab. The next tab I want to show you is Notes. These are notes that appear on the shopping cart and the POS that describe the product. And these notes can include embedded HTML like this one does, or not. This one is just straight text. This one here is just straight text. In a moment we'll show you what that looks like on the cart and on the POS. Now, the next tab to go to is this wine specs. This provides specs for the cart and POS display, varietal composition, appellation, barrel aging, and awards. Stuff that lies outside the realm of the tasting notes. If you want to use them, if you don't use these fields, they do not display. Here's another one. Now, the Images tab shows the large and small format image for the product. So now let's go to the POS and show you what that looks like. So let's take the neighbors first. If I click on it, this shows all that data we were just looking at on the inventory record. Click on a different one. This is one that used the HTML in the notes. And you can see it's embedded a little picture. Now let's go back to our product image here and change the image name. So now we have a different image. Let's save it. And then we'll go back to the POS and close this down and open it up again, and you'll see now it has a different picture. Now let's look at the cart. So here is the shopping cart with the old image. If I was to refresh this page, you'll see it now has the new image. And if I click on that image, I get the details that you saw from the wine specs and the notes tab. Now there are various formats for displaying the shopping cart data, many different formats. This is just one that shows you all the formats. I mean, all, not formats, all the data in a list. And you can see down here, there's the neighbors, and there's this white wine. Different ways displaying the same thing. Now back to Manager. There's a tab called Attributes. This is a tab that can be used for fields that aren't part of the standard Active Club data record. And you can make any of these attributes anything you like. You can name them anything you like, and the drop down can contain anything you like. So this entire 10 attributes is customizable and can be used, for example, for searching. So these are attributes that are customizable. This tab here is called the Setup tab. Now the area, income account, cost of goods, asset account, and external inventory system, those all refer to QuickBooks. So this would be the QuickBooks chart of accounts, and which account you want to be the income account for that particular product, cost of goods account, etc. The inventory relationship area is used if you're using placeholders. Now the inventory status, the on hand, allocated, and available. Let's define what that means. So the on hand quantity is the total number of an item that is physically located in a location at the current time. This includes items that are already allocated to fulfilling sales orders. The allocated quantity is the number of an item that has been assigned to sales order at a specific location, has been paid for, but has not yet been picked up or shipped. The available quantity is the quantity of an item that is available to be allocated to orders. This quantity is the difference between the on-hand and the allocated quantities. I'll let you look at that for a moment. So Active Club does do allocations. So it's not just quantity on hand, we also provide allocated quantities. So going back to the screens in Manager, here we have the inventory status, and that inventory status provides us the on hand, the allocated, and the available and on order quantities. These are roll-ups. These are a summary of all those numbers in all the stock locations that we have for this one particular product. So let's show you those stock locations. That is on this tab here called Stock. And you'll see there are all the locations that we have this product in, the quantity on hand, and how many have been allocated and are available. And you'll notice the summary here at the bottom is the same as the summary here. Now let's take a look at a couple of stock records. Let's open up Napa. So that is stock record for Napa. It is the location and the stock values. I can click on Healdsburg, and I'm going to be looking at the location Healdsburg and the stock values at that location. So it's pouring totally different numbers. So that's inventory. Let's change the search back to what's on the POS in the Napa location, so we get a little more quantity of these. And I wanted to show you the actions menu, what's available here on the actions menu for inventory. We have actions here, and I'm going to be using actions from the right mouse. So there's a section for import. We have the import inventory from QuickBooks, import assemblies, and non-inventory from QuickBooks. And then we have the ability to export to QuickBooks the items that we have selected in the list. There is an item here that you can select called Update Inventory Accounting Data. This will allow you to use inventory grouping in the POS, and is a quick way to distribute information needed to make that work. We have a video on this one subject, but just to show you what it would look like. So let's say it's a white wine group. Let's actually go with a red wine group. So the red wine group in QuickBooks is defined as this, and we could then distribute that to any of these inventory items that we have selected. The next command is to update inventory data. This is an action. You can select some items, for example, select these items, and then you could then change all the categories on those items, the wine type on those items, the brand key, any of the attributes, and these other numbers here at the top. This is a way to edit multiple data records in one go. The next command I'd like to show you is clear SKUs, SKU numbers. So let's have all these SKUs here. Let's sort by this. And I'm going to clear out all these SKUs. right mouse, clear SKUs. So now I have no SKUs assigned, and I want to go back and I want to generate SKUs. Now when you generate SKUs, you can provide any prefix you like. I'm going to go 99, generate them, and you'll see now all of my SKUs have been created. These are 9-digit SKUs. 9-digit because they occupy a smaller barcode. Of course, you can manually enter SKUs, but this is a way to quickly generate your SKUs. The SKUs can also be printed out. If I go to this view here and I say I want to print these SKUs out, those are the SKUs that I could then print out. This is what we call a sample sheet, so you have just one barcode per item. There's another view here which provides, I'm just going to go with 4. And it's going to provide 2 SKUs per sheet. So you get a lot of peel-offs for each particular item. Let's go back to the general view. There's one last command, which is create inventory stock. The create inventory stock command is useful for creating inventory stock records quickly. So that's inventory. That's a quick overview of what inventory is in the Active Club system. I hope you found this useful, and I look forward to seeing you the next time.